How has this come about? Life figured out at 26. Can you, in the comments, drop it in the comments right now. Should you have, by 26 years old, should you have your life figured out? At 26. Me, I'm saying 50s. At 40s, 50s, yeah, you know what, Wagwan. You know Wagwan. 20s, 30s, you're making it work, right? You're putting in work. You're being patient. You gotta be patient. Shit takes time, takes work, right? Dedication, right? But 26, my nigga? Alright, GG's. GG's. Because I know people who have figured their life out, made it to the top, and then went back down. So what? Do they qualify as figure their life out because they made it once and now they broke again? Like, bro, what are we talking about? Are we talking about generational wealth or are we talking about trap money? Because if I wanted trap money, I would not be here on YouTube. I would not be making music. Yes, I make music. Bangers. My nigga. You don't believe me? I make bangers. Hold on.
Hater. Hater. Reason what's up was hate is something ain't us, and we stranded a whack. This sound of some fugazi, double it up, I'm crossing the line of red dirt. Reason what's up was hate is something ain't us, and we stranded a whack. This sound of some fugazi, double it up, I'm crossing the line of red dirt. It's time that you give it up, it's time that you get it out. I'm standing on ganging out, the government with H, it's time to get paid. It's time that you give it up, it's time that you get it out. I'm standing on ganging out, the government with H, it's time to get paid. Life be good until I think it's not. Valley think I bring it out. It's valiant, can't be giving up. My baby bring that thing up. Shorty know I been glow up. Brody know that lingo up. At 40 take my 3 or 4 back. Worry never gives, nah. Let me update you, how many down? Are we standing in danger, fumbling now? Every time we get paid, are we standing in avious of our life? With a price that ain't paid. It just takes a bit of patience. It just takes a bit of patience. It just takes a bit of patience. Reason what's the was hate is something ain't us, and we stranded a whack.
Now look. You know what I'm saying? Nigga make bangers. That's why that shit hit deep. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's an age. Maybe I should have already figured it out. But now you done turn me up. So let's see. Should life be figured out by 26, my nigga? 26?
Has this ever happened to you? You're on your phone and you start scrolling and you're on, like, let's say Instagram or something, and you come across a young person, a very young, very talented, very successful, let's say musician, and you're like, oh cool, a person who's done more in their 18 years than I'll ever do in my lifetime. Let's look at all their pictures and read all the...
I'ma be 100 with you. Since 2019, I have never once scrolled on my phone, seen a successful younger do some crazy shit and be like, why is my life like this? Because I'm no bitch. Put the bud down. Put the phone down.
comments and just flood my brain with this. You know the feeling where you're just like, damn, I'm gonna have a great day after looking at all this social media. So you click on one of the pictures and you notice that there are like all these top comments from all these blue tick accounts. So you click through to their profile because, you know, screw mental health, only to learn that they're more successful, more talented and younger than you. And according to you, in that moment, they also have zero signs of struggle. Fuck.
Never once since 2019. And the reason I say 2019, that's because that's when I gave up the world. I gave up the world. I gave up the desires. I gave up all of this social media shit. I stopped using it. I stopped engaging, right? I only really came back, really and truly came back in 2024, after the 29, after the COVID shit, and the I don't look at nobody on social media and wish that I had their life. I don't. I love my life. Trust me. If you lived my life, you would know why you love it.
Tonight, we meet a 16-year-old who's got more in common with venture capitalists than guidance counselors in algebra.
YouTube celebrity at just 11 years old.
Well, influential teenagers put out by Time magazine.
Already locked down enough seed money that he dropped out of high school.
She was just
Good
19
boy.
when recording 19.
At the age of 15, she developed a boutique skincare business.
Mendez only turned 21 in 2019.
Self-made millionaire.
Born in 2004.
Jack Bloomfield is 17 years old.
After 2 depressing hours of scrolling, you put your phone down and you look around your apartment at your very regular life. Instead of seeing millions of fans, you see a broken fan, actually. Yeah, shit, I gotta get that fixed. You see the bill that you haven't paid, and the fridge that's still leaking, and the shelves I gotta fix, the car reg I gotta pay, and the deadlines that just keep looming over me. And you might feel something energizing, you know, you might feel like, oh, one day this will all be better. I'll get my mansion, I'll get mine. But it's more likely that you'll just feel like you're behind in life. After a few hours on the devil apps, I tend to feel like everyone everywhere is getting ahead, just killing it and leaving me behind. And if I could just work perfectly for the next 3 years with 0 panic attacks,
Me.
I could get there too, right? It is exhausting.
No. I can't say that's me. As much as I'd love to say, yeah, nah, guys, this is exactly how I feel, blah, 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 blah. I don't. I can't agree on it. The reason I can't agree on it is because you don't know the struggles that this person had to go through, and you don't know the struggles that they are probably going through right now. And it's not to say that the struggles is why you should not want a lifestyle like that, but it's like, why for that? Why am I trying to be like next man? Are you mad? Why am I trying to be like next man? Suck on the cocky. Are you dumb? Never me. It could never happen. Never. I've never seen another content creator and be like, I wish I had their life. And you shouldn't either. I'm telling you, don't want to live like that. Because the moment you start wishing things outside of yourself, depression kicks in, anxiety kicks in, because you're comparing yourself. Why are you comparing yourself to someone outside of you?
Dang. But there's some good news. It's a trick. Crazy. You've probably heard of Dunbar's number, the theory that we can only maintain 150 meaningful relationships at any one time. The actual number itself is in contention, and obviously social media throws a spanner in the works, but one thing that most researchers can agree on is that the number is finite. Now this is quite important. So couple this with the fact that we are biologically hardwired to compare ourselves to other people. If you think back in ancient times and you're watching somebody's crops grow better than yours, you'll be like, damn, I should know what they're doing. That way I will be more fed. Thanks, neighbor. So combine these 2 facts and we can produce a third concept, comparison slots. We have a finite amount of slots in our brain that we can put people in against who we can compare ourselves to. Whoever's filling these slots will change as we focus on different things. If we put all our attention on the 1% as we scroll through all these successful young people, yeah, of course we are gonna feel behind in life because our frame of reference is a bunch of ultra rich, successful, talented teenagers. And you know, I'm 30 and I've only just started taking my life seriously, so whoops. So looking at this concept, it's easy to think that the solution would be, oh, well, I'll just stare at a bunch of people who suck and fill my comparison slots with people who are doing worse than me, so I'll constantly feel better, right? I'll just look at Johnny.
Let me just say something. You see this graph right here? In this graph right here, chat. Let me tell you something. In this graph right here. It's me. It's me. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Put yourself in all of those. It's impossible. For you to compare yourself to them, you'd have to literally live their lifestyle, which is impossible. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible to compare yourself to other people. You can, of course. I'm just saying it's not a logical way of living life. It doesn't make sense. Not if you want to be happy in life.
Constantly feel better, right? I'll just look at Johnny who sold his foot for Kid Rock tickets. Unfortunately though, this is more or less the same habit and it's only going to lead us to inevitable ugly feelings again. A slightly more stable solution would be to fill those comparison slots with people who inspire you and people who did blow up later in life. You know, people like Colonel Sanders who made KFC in his 60s. You've seen those memes, you know, the ones that are
That's
like,
valid.
J.K. Rowling didn't write her for...
That's valid. I don't see nothing wrong with putting someone who inspires you in there. Because then at least you're coming from a healthy, remember, healthy. People don't like healthy standpoint.
First Harry Potter book until she was 412. So that means you don't have to try it all. Yeah. I think this is an okay solution, but I think underneath it all, it still reinforces 2 ideas. 1, that you have to blow up, and 2, that it is in some way dependent on your age. When we put pressure on these 2 variables, success and age, I think that's exactly when we start to feel behind in life. Because I think that's actually what the definition of feeling behind in life is, not having enough success by a certain age. So I think it's therefore important to break these 2 concepts down. And that's what we're gonna do with the next part of the video, starting with success. What is it, man? My sister is a counselor, so when she asks me how I'm going, I usually give her a pretty honest answer. And the other day she did ask me how I'm going, and I said, I feel good, but I feel like people won't love me unless I'm successful. I don't know, gotta be honest. And she said, how about you rephrase that as an I statement? And I'm all like, what do you mean? Because I'm the dumber one of the 2 of us. And she goes, how about you say, I won't love me if I'm not successful? And that's when it's...
You see? It's an internal issue.
starts to kind of hurt and unpack a few things. Her theory is that for a lot of people who do feel behind in life, or for a lot of people who are chasing success in a traditional sense, we have this sense that we have to achieve things in order to be worthy of other people's love, but really we also have to achieve things in order to be worthy of our own love. And because we lack that self-love, we attribute that lack to the first thing that we can see and control, which is success. Therefore, get really successful so you can love yourself. Cool. And if you're not, you will feel that shitty feeling. That makes sense as a theory, I subscribe to it, but it does beg the question, what's the solution? Do I just love myself and let my drive for success die? This feels really good in theory and just really awful in practice. Personally, I think the solution comes in redefining success, and redefining it in a way that ultimately leads to self-love. This way you can have your cake and eat it too, which is a really weird expression. For me, success is having incredible relationships with people and making meaningful work. With that definition in place, it's time to discuss the second variable, timings. Something that I've only realized recently is that young success looks really cool on the surface, and any deeper than that, it looks like pure agony. I'm gonna tell you two stories about two people whom I've been a fan of at various points in my life. The first one I was only a fan for a very fleeting moment, and the second one I assume I'll be a fan of for a very, very long time. The first person is Lil Xan. I'm embarrassed that I was a fan, actually. Something about his attitude just appealed to me. I don't know what it was, but if you don't know, he was a rapper called Diego Llanos who blew up in 2018 with an album called Total Xanarchy. He would have been 21 years old, and he was in that wave of face-tattooed, leaned-up rappers that was just so popular for 6 months. So this kid gets flown around the world, collaborates with all sorts of people, and people are even getting like face-tattooed replicas of Lil Xan. He gets to this height where it's just so hard to ignore him, and he is basically a meme and ultra famous. But Lil Xan was just Lil. He was a kid, and sadly he didn't navigate fame and success too well. In one interview, he was asked about what he thought about Tupac, and he said,
The boring music.
people were ready to hate him.
This is why I can't take this young generation serious. I can't. I actually can't. And to be fair, that nigga probably my generation, but I can't take this generation serious. I can't take my generation serious. I can't even take the previous generation serious. Y'all niggas ain't figured shit out. And this is why the world is where it is now. Because the world hasn't figured anything out. My nigga. People starve every day. They're homeless every day. People are dying at wars because of billionaires, millionaires. Motherfuckers are still dying because of religion, bro. Like, you can't tell me it's figured out. There's nothing to figure out because we don't want to figure it out. We want to live on the backs of others. Be honest. You want to live on the back of others without saying you're living on the back of others. It's okay. It's okay to want to live in a comfortable way in which you ignore who you're causing harm to because you're comfortable. It's all right. I won't look at you any different. I do it sometimes. But for you to sit there and say, you haven't got life figured out. Who are you? Judge Judy?
Went from superstar to punchline, and between the hate, the drugs, and the pressure, his mental health declined.
I want to show y'all what mental illness really fucking looks like. I just did this to my car. Scratched it, keyed it up, I just bought it.
Shit pissing me off.
I just bought this fucking car. Hit the fucking door. Wanna know why I'm doing that? Because of mental fucking illness. I'm a fucking slave. I'm a slave to my management. I'm a slave to everybody. I don't get control of my bank account. I don't get control of shit. I can't even drive that fucking car.
It's honestly heartbreaking to see all that potential and promise.
I remember this. I remember when he first dropped this. And I was thinking to him. I was thinking to myself, damn. You made it. You're rich. But you can't touch your money. Is life figured out? Really? And I know a couple men like this. IRL. Made it. But then someone else is holding them. Yo, don't do this. No. You can't have the pin to your card. Shh. You can't cry to no one. Shh. I know a couple man that are being held hostage till this day by the labels.
Turn into something so
Or just people who love to take advantage.
Now, he's 24, stuck with the same face tattoos, and focusing more on narcotics than music. So can we call Lil Xan successful? I mean, what good is money and fame if you feel like shit? And what about his future? What can we say for what's gonna happen next to Lil Xan? Does he have to live his life feeling like he peaked? I hope not, but probably. But the biggest question above all of this is, was his work, at the very least, meaningful? You tell me.
I fucked that bit, yeah, I fucked that. Your life is not figured out and you're 26. No.
Now, he's 24, same face tattoos and focusing
Oh
on
my
works.
god.
So can we call Lil Xan successful? I mean, what good is money and fame if you feel like shit? And what about his future? What can we say for what's going to happen next to Lil Xan? Does he have to live his life feeling like he peaked? I hope not, but probably. But the biggest question above all of this is, was his work at the very least meaningful? You tell me. Now let's compare that story of blowing up at 21 to the story of Brené Brown, who did a TED Talk in her 40s and blew up after that. Now she's in her 50s and at the peak of her career, and she's having a lot of longevity with it. And the reason that she is so relatable is because she is literally relatable. She spent most of her life living like all of us.
What did I say? What did I say at the start of the video? 40s, 50s? But I digress.
Normal like, man. She's gonna have a long career full of meaningful work, and I think that her work actually resonates more with people because she blew up late. In short, the timings of when you make something is irrelevant. Sure, you can catch a trend train, but you'll just go up and come down. What really matters is whether or not the work is meaningful. So instead of focusing on an arbitrary deadline like I need to make blank by here, otherwise blank, it makes a lot more sense to just focus on making something incredible. I always like to leave these things with a little bit of homework, something that you can journal on. The first question you can journal on is, how do you define success? The second question is, how could deferred success serve me in the long run? And the third question is, how is feeling behind in life the best thing that has ever happened to me?
Chat.
Third question is, how is
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this together. How do you define success? How could you defer success serve me in the long run? Or how could deferred success serve me in the long run? How is feeling behind, right, the best thing that has ever happened to me? In this case, you. Now, I want you to really, really dig deep. Dig deep. But if you have anyone, friend, mom, dad, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, telling you that you need to have your life figured out by a particular age, or that by this age they were doing that and the third, they're projecting. You know why? Because a person that truly cares about you will not put pressure on you to reach a false sense of success. Because that's what it is. It's a false sense of success. There's no rule to it. Success in your eyes could become something completely different to the 1 million subscribers that you have. What's the point of having 1 million subscribers if every day you're one day closer to putting a... What's the point? So your meaning of success would be happiness. But other people view your meaning of success as the 1 million subscribers. Hence why I say, if you have these people in your corner, if you have these people in your life, if you can cut them off, it's probably best that you think about it. I'm not going to say cut them off. No. Think about it. Because me, I see the best in people. Every single time I've dealt with someone, you've come across me, I've given you some form of advice, trust me. Believe me, listen, I don't gain anything from telling you good or bad things. I don't gain shit. It's that simple. But inside, at least I felt like I did something that was valuable, not only to me, but to you. Hence why I say what I say. Listen, if you have these people in your corner, you need to have a long talk with them, a long discussion. It's important that you have this long discussion because you should not be trying to get through the most unpredictable life on earth, which is human life, with pressure from someone who hasn't figured it out, whose values and meaning to success are completely out of date. And then they want to apply pressure on you? My nigga. And with that being said, I'm going to leave it here. Like, sub, share. Let me know what you think in the comments. At what age should you have your life figured out? Peace.